Hi, I am Kia Richmond here to talk to you about the culture at HCE. Shine says that culture arises in an organization based on their own histories and experiences. Shine has done extensive research in the area of culture within organizations, and he acknowledges that you need to first understand the phenomenon that takes place. And in that, he has developed a culture triangle that is comprised of artifacts, espoused values, and underlying assumptions. The artifacts are those tangible things, things that you can actually see. And espoused values are those beliefs that a person has, and the underlying assumptions are those unconscious beliefs, habits of perception, thoughts, and feelings. And it is important to understand how and why culture is developed because it takes time to actually develop a culture and understand what the culture is in a particular organization. And the members of that organization are emotionally attached to their identity or group, according to Shine. The organizational culture of a building impacts the behavior of the people within that building, the way they act, the things that they do, the things that they say, the way that they feel. And it also helps us to understand that organization change only takes place when people accept the change and act on the new normal. So enough people within that organization have to come on board and start making that change in order to shift the culture in a different direction. And Kurt Lewin puts it so nicely when he says that you won't really understand a system until you have tried to change it. My principal and I are new leaders inside of a new building, and we've gone in and tried to assess the culture of the building. The teachers say that they are a family, but that may not necessarily be how others perceive them. And so continuous improvement methods have been successful when employees reflect on the results of their efforts, according to Liker and Jesus. It has been our charge to assess the culture in our building. So things that we had to do were to observe. What were we noticing? Who speaks to who? Which team actually uses data to make informed instructional decisions and which teams do not? We needed to actually listen. What are the teachers saying about themselves? What are they saying about others? What are they saying about our school in general? And then we needed to ask questions, such as historically, what has happened when you did this, this, and this? Or how do you perceive this? Then we needed to gather that feedback from outsiders. How are you all perceiving our building? And so a lot of qualitative data needed to be collected. And throughout the past year, we have realized that there was some need for improvement to help with the cultural identity at our school. And so my principal and I decided that we needed to encourage some shifts in our culture. So working collaboratively, garner a growth mindset, be trustworthy of one another, and be open and inviting. Because these are things that we saw within the building that did not necessarily speak to the type of culture that we would like to have in our building. And so there are things that we needed to do to move our school forward. And these are still a work in progress. But one thing that I have learned is that through this course is we cannot oversimplify the culture. We need to look closely at the behaviors that we are seeing and having and acknowledge those behaviors. And then we need to speak to those mindsets that we need to shift and to make those changes, and realizing that it can't change with just one person. We need enough people to come on board and make that change in order to shift the culture within our building. We need to look for those teachers who are willing to join the cause and then give them some incentives and let other people see that these people are actually working towards the change that we want to see, and provide them with feedback and incentives. We need to anticipate the people that probably won't buy in and create a plan to get them to come over into the side that we want them to be in. And then we need to also look for those outsiders who are starting to acknowledge the change that we want to see in our school's culture. Employing Likert approach will be monumental to make sure that we're including all people in our building, all the stakeholders. We need to make sure that we have someone from every department represented to give their feedback and to walk with us in the change of shifting the culture in a positive direction for our school.